Oh, cool, red.
Welcome to the outskirts of Bolton. Look at that for a backdrop. Now, the last thing I expected to be doing today is driving this, the BYD Atto 3. To think, the first time we saw it was fully charged 2 months ago. And it's fantastic. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. The thing about BYD is they're quite literally going to shake up the market when it comes to offering, say, a premium vehicle with an affordable price. And from the drive that we've just experienced, they've hit the nail on the head. It's fantastic in every way, including the price bracket. We'll take a deeper look at that in a moment. First things first, I'd like to apologise for the wind. As you can see, big hills, moors, it's going to be windy. Ooh, there's a dolphin. There's so many things to cover with this. Battery technology, their origins. For a start, you know the first Nokia phone? BYD made the battery for that. Yeah, those bulletproof things that you could run over in tanks. So essentially, what the manufacturer has done has made a battery and built a car around it. Now the interesting thing is, BYD have been around for years. But the sad fact, a bit like Daewoo back in the day, nobody's heard of them. They're into literally everything. And they're certainly shaking up the UK. As I mentioned, their price bracket is quite unbelievable. But it's what you get for that money. The safety, the tech. They're what you call cutting edge. Now BYD first entered into the electric car market, I think it was around 15 years ago, and since then they've got stronger and stronger. They now provide vehicles in 70 countries. And it's some ridiculous amount of dealers. I think it was in May alone they sold 250,000 models. That's mind-blowing. And we are going to be seeing a lot more of them in the UK. And I bet your first question is, well, where do I get one? Well, they've actually adopted a dealer network. You can't even buy them online. You can get them from places like Pendragon, Lookers, and a number of others. There's 3 trims to choose from, and ours is top of the range, meaning you get things like a bigger screen. And just wait till it does its rotating trick. You can see its origins of the Chinese Dragon. So yeah, BYD are Chinese, but that's a really good thing nowadays. Their battery technology, well, it's one of the best in the world. I mean, just look at all the manufacturers and brands that are coming out of China. Now, when you look deeper into BYD, you'll realise it's not just the batteries that are advanced, it's the whole platform. This is E-Platform 3.0, and all their vehicles are built on this. So Dolphin, Seal, and of course Atto 3, and there's more in the pipeline. The other thing is, they use blade technology, so it uses far less space. And they do use the industry standard nail test. The batteries form part of the rigidity in the platform. When you delve a little deeper into this, you'll be absolutely amazed at how they're put together. You can tell that they've been doing this for a while. I mean, this looks fantastic. It's got great proportions, the silhouette. It's just, well, you can tell that the designer was ex-Alfa Romeo and VWG. It's what I'd call minimalist, but with sculpting, especially say round the eyes, or LED lights, and they are automatic with high beam assist. Parking sensors, no front camera, and I'm so glad that we got red. Red, you just don't see very often, and that's another good thing. All paints are complementary. 18-inch wheels, stick cladding, decent ride height, doors that cover the sills, semi-clamshell bonnet, and a big windscreen. And you've got such a commanding driving position that we'll take a look at later. The side profile's very clean. Just some plastic cladding that runs down the side, but that gives it, well, an SUV look. Now currently, as far as we know, there is no all-wheel drive option. But that would be nice to see in the future. But because BYD offer front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, it's not beyond the realms. This is front-wheel drive. I love the way that the windows are enveloped in chrome. Of the sporty element. Sloping roofline, big sunroof and chrome roof bars. It's the whole package. Power folding door mirrors, blind spot detection and keyless entry. Take a look inside. I'll just let you take this in for a moment. Isn't this fantastic? It's such a refreshing change to see a colourful interior. The deep blues, the cream, and all this is soft. Kind of midway between soft and hard. Decent door pockets, and you've got your tailgate button here. And these, believe it or not, you can play Smoke on the Water on those because they're actually tuned, aren't they?
Yeah, you can tell.
Annabelle being the guitarist she is. Climbing in, child's play. Decent door opening and comfortable seats. You're certainly what you'd call enveloped. The shifter, the great switchgear, and the, well, I suppose it's like funky design elements. Micro cluster, love it. Sporty flat bottom steering wheel and proper buttons with little rotaries. Interestingly, no buttons here. I think that's a first. Lovely and solid. Once you shut the door, it's amazing how quiet the cabin becomes. It's very well refined. The build quality. The car moves before any, well, elements move. The shaping. That's it. Not everybody looks for radical, but the way they've done this is in a really tasteful way, and it just offers something completely different to every other EV that we've ever been in. And that says something. But you still got the functionality and practicality in droves. Wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders, deep storage pot in there, and an armrest that's wide enough for you and your passenger. Now you will find hard plastics, but they're of a good quality. Also, the rest of the interior seems to be enveloped in a vegan leather too, and it just carries off the vehicle so well. Lovely buckety seats. They remind me of tombstones out of a Porsche, which is always a good thing. The red piping, and this is all vegan leather. You've got Isofix points on the front. Buckety, they're supportive, they're very comfortable. It's such a premium feeling. Recycled materials throughout. I do love this dark headliner, makes it very sporty. Storage area under here, and it's 6'3", decent legroom and headroom, about an inch. And I've got a footrest down here. It's a great driving position, as you'll see when Annabelle takes the wheel. Sadly, no grab handle on the driver's side, but there is one on every other door. Start stops here, the crystal element throughout the button. Just look at the size of the panoramic. So you can open the blind fully too. That lets so much light in. And you can tilt it. Now the interior is inspired by a gymnasium. I can't quite believe it either. For example, kettlebell. These are supposed to be like the weight discs. And treadmill on the armrest. And the door handles, well, they're weightlifting bars. Now the way I'd be driving this, I'd probably get 240 miles. But I mean, that's not bad for a vehicle of this size, but it actually boasts 260. And on one of the EV rallies, these were actually returning around 300. If you can drive an EV vehicle efficiently, there's no telling what you'll get with the range. Let's take a look in the back. In true Lancashire style, the wind's picked up and the rains have arrived. Thing is, it doesn't detract from this fantastic SUV. Decent room in the back, the door opens relatively wide and interesting. Same finishes as the front. That's very rare today. Decent door pocket, and if you want to inspire your creative children, you've got guitar strings in the back as well. The speakers are combined with the guitar, and if you've noticed, it almost looks like a classic banjo. Now I'll let you decide whether that's a good or a bad thing. Climbing in, absolutely no problem. Leaning right back. My hair doesn't brush, well, can. Get my feet under the seats, and there's lots of storage here. BYD design logo, USBs, and a storage pot. I love the touches of colour. Blue here, the creams, even the black gloss. It all comes together so well. Matte reading lights, plush comfortable seating. Look at that, squish effect. It means you're extremely comfortable. Pull down armrest, cup holders, and the backrest isn't too upright either. Little window here that lets extra light in, and yes, when you've got the blind shut, it can be a bit dark. But with this panoramic, light and airy just isn't the word. Finally, Isofix points, airbags, and you can adjust the seatbelt height. Let's take a look at the back. Such a clean design, full with light bar and LED. Just look at the sculpting, it ties together so well. Build your dreams, and why not? And the thing is, that translates exactly the same in over 70 countries. So everybody's going to recognise BYD. Reversing camera, parking sensors, and overall, just a really clean look. Sporty rear spoiler with a high level brake light. And Diddy rear wiper. Talk about a flush tailgate. Let's take a look in the boot. Power tailgate. Now I didn't expect that. I do have to duck ever so slightly, but it's not bad. No boot lip. Absolutely no problem with shopping, suitcases, and we've got a rubber mat. Perfect for dogs, large cats, Wellington bobbles, you name it. And this is a dual level floor. Reflective vest, inflation kit, and extra storage. Drop in the seats, nice and easy. First, just unhook this and pull the strap. Now with the floor set at this height, it's a flat loading area. No gap either. It's what you call practical. Quite easily get your electric mountain bike in there. When it comes to charging, just push, and yeah, it's not the strongest hinge, but it is, well, it's pretty substantial. Rubber bungs, type 2, and it'll rapid charge up to a speed of 88 kilowatts. As for speeds in the future, with 800 volt architecture, the world is your lobster. Let's take a look under the bonnet. At the curve. You know I love curvature, and it really reflects it. I pulled the bonnet, but it won't release. What I have to do is have someone at the front and pull that, and then it releases. The thing about an electric car is you don't go in it that often. You'll top up your fluids periodically. So having two people isn't that much of a challenge. Well, that's pretty cavernous, and right at the bottom of there you can see the electric motor. That would have been the perfect place to put a frunk. No matter, it's nice and easy to see where you top up all your fluids, and you can see where your battery is. Very electric looking, fancy that. Not the lightest bonnet, so do take care when lifting. Welcome behind the wheel of the BYD Atto 3. Now, I've been wanting to drive this since I first saw it fully charged. First impressions? Pretty damn awesome. It feels refined, lovely steering, nice and direct, great feedback, and even at this speed it's got a decent weight to it. And don't get me started on speed. It pulls 0 to 60 in around 7.3, but believe it or not, there's actually launch control in here, and it's, well, realistically closer to 7.
And these passenger seats are really comfortable, held well.
Is yours electric?
It is.
Very little road noise. Lovely turning circle.
Ooh, yes.
So smooth. And yes, that noise does drop off the higher speed you go. It puts a grin on your face. Oops. Well, it grips.
I was going to say, that was a very short light, wasn't it?
You just can't fault it. Body roll, very mitigated. And that's quite strange, isn't it, when you think about the height of the vehicle and also its dimensions? Because it does feel, what, elevated, should we say? You've got a really good driving position, haven't you? It's more MPV. It's like a cross between MPV and SUV. Which means you've got a real command of the road. Acceleration. Whee! 3 driving modes, including sport. Nah, I could have a lot of fun in this. We need to go on a road trip, don't we?
Oh, we've got to get one of these on loan pretty soon.
Look at that.
I could see you having a lot of fun in one of these.
You are over the speed limit.
Wow! I'm doing 24, but I was fractionally, yes. We're attentive. Okay, we're in sport. We'll do a mini launch past this, because this is not the best place. Ready? A little bit of wheel spinach. Decent power, decent acceleration, a really good setup, comfortable suspension. It's nice and pliable, isn't it?
It's smooth, that's how I would describe it.
But due to its weight, it holds the road like nobody's business. Everything's nice and easy to reach as well. Look at that for an infotainment screen. Not going to miss it, are you?
No. And it's rotating.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Nice responsive system. Cluster's nice and clear. It reminds me of VWG's setup if you think about it. You know, small cluster but big infotainment screen.
School zone ahead.
You can see everything you need. I like the way it's not invasive. One thing I'd like to see is a heads-up display. But with a price bracket of this, I mean, everything you do get, I'm quite staggered at what you get for the money. I think that's the best way of putting it.
Well, a lot of the features, and especially safety features, are standard, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Feel the regen slowing us down. No paddles for regen. It's well appointed. The driving experience is something else. I expected something rather special, but now we're behind the wheel. It offers a level of luxury, doesn't it?
It's not just well appointed, it's finely finished.
Yeah. It's a joy to drive. Lots of safety. Collision mitigation, AEB, sensors, detection systems, you name it. Easy to manoeuvre. It's not too wide for back roads, things like that. Well, it can pull up hills.
You are over the speed limit.
Oh, yes, sorry, I'm doing 21 and a 20. Now the likelihood is you could probably disable that. Because let's face it, mind you, it's a good safety system. And to put it in drive, you have to press the unlock button. It's a novel shifter, I do like it. Start, stop, and buttons that are just really easily accessible. The thing is, they're very descriptive too.
I'm loving the driving experience. Great visibility, excellent seating position. I could see myself on a long haul on this.
Yeah, me too.
Going on adventures.
What a fantastic SUV. Great price, lots of tech, lots of practicality and functionality. Perfect for the family. And a long enough range that means that you can go adventuring. It's an exciting time for BYD.